first guest tonight is a very talented man with a BAFTA, an Oscar, and a Tony, too. He's an Emmy away from an EBOT. His new adaptation of The Day of the Jackal premieres November 14th on Peacock. Please welcome Eddie Redmayne. It's been some time since I last saw you.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy.
You've
it has
really
been a while.
grown up. You really have. You have kids now, right?
That's true. I have 2 children.
How old are your kids?
They are 6 and 8.
I heard you brought them out on this trip with
They
you.
are incredibly grateful to you, Jimmy, because as
Why?
a consequence of us coming here, they've had what we call half term, which is our kind of mid-trimester holiday. They've had the half term of a lifetime.
They have?
Yeah, they came out to Los Angeles for the first time. And we went to Universal Studios.
Fun.
And we've basically fulfilled all of their sort of lifetime theme park dreams.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you go to the Harry Potter experience there?
Kidding? Of course I went to the Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did people flip out because you were in one of those movies?
I mean, I got a few dodgy looks in Ollivanders. Yeah.
People thinking maybe you work there? Or,
maybe, exactly. I kind of learned a ton of lessons. The first thing is my kids, you know, they're properly in that Harry Potter age, and so they did the thing where the wand chooses you and all of that stuff. And,
right.
And then I went into Ollivanders and looked at the shop, and I saw all these different wands. And when I first entered the wizarding world, they kind of chat to you about what you want your wand to look like. And I was like, my character, you know, he's out in nature, so it's just maybe just a sort of twig. And as I saw in the merchandise thing in Ollivanders, all the different ones with the kind of bedazzled ones and the gold ones, and there was my sort of twig. I sort of realized that I'd made an elementary error. But...
My kids were there this weekend, actually, with some of their friends, and they came home with wands.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we lost one of the wands in the house, and we had to search for the damn wand all over the place. And, it was a whole thing. But now my daughter wants to be Hermione for Halloween.
So does mine.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Well, it's still popular, huh?
So, I mean, it's so sort of beguiling. But they have all those amazing things that you can do, the kind of wand spells at different parts of the park. And
okay.
I was like, guys, I've got this. Your dad... It's like the one thing I can do, and it transpires I can't. Because you're meant to do these things, and extraordinary things happen, and my kids gave me a proper schooling in wand work.
I see.
10 years too late.
Oh, yeah, a little bit late, yeah.
Did you go on any of the rides? Did you do any of
yes. It's scary, though, the Harry Potter ride, like, surprisingly so.
I loved the Harry Potter ride, but it is scary. Again, when I did the wizarding thing, like, the things that I love, like playing Quidditch, I never got to do, and one of the great things about the Harry Potter ride there is you get to simulate Quidditch, and my son, again, was obsessed with that, and we did it once, and then we did it again. And the second time, just as we were coming to the end, there was a hiccup in the ride. Like, the ride stopped for a second, as I was kind of like this, with a massive off Dementor. And I had my 6-year-old son sort of sitting next to me.
Oh, no.
And I was like, are you okay? And he's like, Dad, I'm fine. And I'm like, I'm not, I'm myself. It was...
did you have your stick? You didn't have your stick? You could have got the ride going again.
I didn't have my elementary twig.
You always have to have your stick.
Yeah.
And what else have you been doing with the kids?
Well, I mean, my kids are not spoilt, but this week they have been spoilt. But because, basically, when I was a kid...
Well, you're on vacation.
We're on vacation.
Right.
And they, when I was about their age, my brother and I thought we were going on holiday to France with my parents, and it's only a couple of hours flight from London to France. And a couple of hours in, I was sort of whining to my mum and dad about, it takes so long, why is it taking 4 hours to fly to France? And they were like, because we're actually going to Florida to Disney World. And it was like the greatest experience of my life. So I've fulfilled all of my childhood dreams by using my kids as an excuse. We went to Disneyland as well.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. And we went all in, we stayed in.
You did, yeah. And did you... Well, there's the Star Wars land there, too. Are the kids into that?
My son who's called Luke, and so I just...
Yeah.
I just walked around going, Luke, you are my son. And he's only 6, and he's like, Dad, those aren't the words.
Yeah, no, those aren't the words. It's Luke, I am your father.
I am your father.
Is it uncomfortable for you to be at a theme park attraction for a movie you haven't been in?
I feel like that's quite a pointed question. I mean, it's not for the lack of trying, put it that way.
Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, I've auditioned for like so many movies in the past and had many.
Star Wars movies.
I mean, Star Wars amongst them. Yeah.
Do you remember what part? It was like something big?
Yeah, I auditioned many years ago to play, and at the time we weren't told what it was, because it's this irritating thing about auditioning for those huge movies is they don't let you read a script. They don't let you you have no idea what it is. I just knew it was for a Star Wars film, and it was potentially to play a baddie. And so, but they don't give you the script, so they give you like sides, like these script pages. And I kind of worked out from looking at them that the options, there's a bit of something from Star Trek, and there's a bit of something from Pride and Prejudice. A bit weird.
Really?
Yeah, and so I found myself going into this audition knowing that I was auditioning to play a Star Wars baddie, and I sort of did this, what I thought was like, I really got into it, and I did this sort of Mr. Darcy, Elizabeth Bennet scene in like, my Darth Vader voice. Yes, Elizabeth. Why are you so cold to me? Anyway, I did. There was this wonderful casting director called Nina Gold who has been very generous to me in the past, and I did about 7, 8 takes of my sci-fi, weird, romantic, screwed-up father voice, and eventually she's like, Eddie, have you got anything else? I was like, really? No. She's like, do you want to go? I was like, I think I should.
Do you find that when they say at the end of an audition, you got anything else that you didn't get the part?
Yeah, that tends to be the case.
That's good advice for actors. Eddie Redmayne is here. His new show is called The Day of the Jackal. We'll be right back.
No loose ends.
Good. Then we have a deal.
We have a deal. Keep looking straight ahead.
In future communications, we'll use the code name Rodan for the target.
Hold on. Very good.
And we'll need a code name for you, too.
Why not the Jackal?
We are back with Eddie Redmayne. That is The Day of the Jackal. It is, by the way, I watched it last night, and it's I was 100% in from almost the second the show started. It's a lot of fun.
Jimmy, that's great news.
I would imagine that it must be thrilling to be the Jackal. Yes?
Sounds so much better when you sit.
I mean, it's cool to be the Jackal. The
It is
Jackal
cool to be the Jackal, but again, that voice, it just sounds sort of so much more raspy and cool. I wish I'd had that when I was saying
I'm beguiling, some say.
It was amazing. It was amazing. It's kind of, the Jackal, for people who don't know, is an assassin, but he kind of morphs the way he looks. He's sort of really
He's
into
an
prosthetics.
assassin and also a master of disguise.
Master of disguise.
Which I love that idea that, like, first of all, he's a sniper. He can shoot somebody from thousands of yards away.
Yeah.
But also, he's really good at makeup.
He's really good. He's really good, exactly.
And really fast at it, too.
Great with mascara. Yeah, he's got quite a few skills.
And a master of language as well, yeah.
That's true, yeah. So one of the, I mean, really, for me, I had so much fun making this series. It's kind of I grew up watching, there was a movie, well, it's based on a very famous book and a brilliant movie from the 70s. And I kind of love that he's a bit of a peacock. He changes the way he looks. He's a bit of an actor, really.
You weren't born when that movie came out. Is this something you watched, like, with your family or something?
I did, yeah. It was my dad's favourite movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so he must be thrilled.
He is thrilled. He told me not to it up.
Did he ever take you to the Day of the Jackal land when he was a kid? When you were a kid? No.
But I would love that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Walking around with dots on your
So the Jackal is. Will you be dressing as the Jackal for Halloween tomorrow?
I mean, it's a good question, actually. I haven't got my kids are fully Harry Pottered up to the eyeballs.
Right. Yes.
But I mean, there's a whole kind of different thing with Halloween in the UK.
Yeah, well, it is different, huh? I heard, actually, I was talking to Hugh Grant about that.
Was he saying?
What do you find to be the biggest differences?
Well, I mean, first it was much smaller. Like, yeah, you get dressed up as a kind of Frankenstein or maybe a witch or a wizard. But
The classics.
The classics. But many years ago, I was making a film in the UK, a period drama called The Other Berlin Girl, and Scarlett Johansson and Natalie Portman were in it. And we were there over Halloween. And they had a Halloween party, again, because they were American. They really wanted to celebrate this day. And we turned up, and I turned up as a... I remember what I turned up as, some sort of, probably with a bolt in my head, you know, Frankenstein. And they went fully, I mean, Natalie arrived as one of the Pink Ladies with a troupe of Pink Ladies from Greece.
From Greece?
And I was like, that's not Halloween. That's just dress up, you know? That's like, and it was at that moment that it was revealed that basically here you can just raid your dress up cupboard and kind of put on whatever you want.
But there you don't. That's interesting. And is it true?
No, it's
you
morphed
Grant said
now, because like everything, we kind of take whatever you guys do.
So now, okay, all right.
And now it's also the sweets thing. I mean, again, no thanks to you, Jim.
You didn't have that.
I mean, we do a bit with the trick-or-treating, but then all your things went viral, and now it's sort of...
Well, you know what? We've infected and ruined the world. In so many ways. Well, it's great to have you here. The show's great. It's called The Day of the Jackal. It premieres November 14th on Peacock. Eddie Redmayne, everybody. We'll be back with Shirley Ralph.